Hello everyone, welcome to the 24 minutes of Le Mans. So then I particularly wanted to do this video, of course on Project Cars, and so this is LMP1 cars at Le Mans, and we're doing 24 minutes, which works out about 7 laps. You can't actually do minutes, I've done 7 laps, which is about the same. But we're going to go green now, so it's actually a rolling start, and this final chicane here is really tricky to do a rolling start, and a bit of contact already there. And full throttle, I'm in the Audi R18, and most other cars aren't, but they are LMP1 cars, so they're pretty much just as fast. And starting P10 then, look like I'm inside this guy to the first turn, all over the curb there. But usually I can't outbrake them, and there we go, leaving plenty of room. He's dive back up the inside. I usually get good speed through there, that's pretty good, but a little bit of a wheel spin on the exit there. I'm not able to get alongside him, so just try and stick it, and of course, being 24 minutes, 7 laps, yep. And this about 3.5 minute laps, so it's quite a long race really, so I need to not be binning it in the first corner. It is easy to do so against this AI. And this is one of the better races. Well, this is the best race, hence the video. I did an awful lot of restarts attempting this. Several hours were played in these supposedly 24 minutes, and lots of slipstream. I'll talk about that in just a minute once we've got a little bit less action on track, because at the moment it's slipstream and loads of them. We've gone from P10 all the way to P7, and absolutely flat there, well over 300 kilometers an hour. Nice and slipstream with the next car as well, so that was a solid overtaking move there, and already got half a second on the car behind. And I'm not great on the brakes through here. First chicane of the, is it the Mulsanne straight? And full throttle on the exit. This is well, it's a quattro car. It is four-wheel drive technically, but most of the power, I believe, goes to the rear wheels. And if you look down the bottom left there, you can see gaps behind and gaps in front. So just 3/10 of the car in front, now 2/10, and more like 8/10 of the car behind. I've got a slightly low downforce setup. Not too bad, but it's a little bit low just to give me a bit of speed down these straights. Because otherwise I was finding I was losing time even in slipstream. And this corner, this is probably my worst corner on the track. I'm particularly bad at this one, I don't know why. Get a nice exit out. He runs right, gonna have to go right on the outside though. Almost made contact, that must have been very close. And for the gears, I'm trying to see where he is. I can't see him, he's completely in my blind spot. Look at the bottom left again, he's just 400ths behind. But I can't see him there, not in the mirror, and he's not alongside me, but I know he's there somewhere, so I've got to leave him room. I don't know where he is, I cannot see him at all. And that's what's cool about playing cockpit. A little bit of contact though, you saw the car just straighten up as I tried to turn it in. I don't know where he's gone, I think he's just gone completely straight on there. And at this point I didn't realise, I was still trying to look for him, but I realise now he must have gone somewhere. But that's what the AI are particularly bad at, they just don't know when to back out of it. I mean, I was on the inside there, I did leave him some room, but he just decided to turn in on me, and I wasn't going to go all over that curb at 300 kilometers an hour. That's not going well for me. So I did touch the curb, but you know, I had to get on the brakes at that point. So the AI, well, I'm not impressed with the AI. That's why it took me several hours to do it. I did some practice. I was originally going to do a whole race weekend. I was going to do practice, then quali, then the race. So I did quali and I was 4 seconds on pole. I thought, oh, okay, this will be a boring race then. So let's. So I could never get that corner right. I always run a little bit deep. And yeah, so let's. I started P10. I did a manual. You can choose your starting position. And I originally started. I chose middle of the grid. So out of 50, well, it's 56 cars. Well, I haven't mentioned that. 56 cars on the track. So the FPS is a lot better now than it was in the beginning. With 56 cars all around me. But yeah, so I originally did middle, which is sort of. What, 28th-ish, and it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. You just couldn't. They were like 4 abreast down the straight, so you couldn't get past, which is fair enough. That's real. I don't mind that. And this is that. Oh, lots and lots of oversteer though. Very lucky to keep out the barrier there, and that's the corner I gain you all the time. But got a little bit of oversteer, a little tiny bit of wheel spin on the exit there. I don't know how I managed to keep out that barrier, to be honest with you. Did touch the grass, but pretty much got away with that. So I will definitely take that. And I've just got to make contact at the final corner. I went a little bit deep. That's going to push me all the way to the gravel as well. Big mistake in this final sector. Luckily, I had a nice big gap to the car behind, but that's cost me an awful lot of time. A little bit of they're quite cool. They give you a bit of coaching as you go on a track, but yes, after the excitement of the last sectors, I just need to now try and push and try and catch up. 1.6 seconds to make up, and yeah, so starting 28th on the grid. It was absolutely horrendous. It was really bad because there were so many cars in such a tight space, and they're massively aggressive, way too aggressive. You basically, you see it a little bit in this video. They just don't back out. So you know, if you're on the inside and you're half a car length ahead, generally the car behind will back out. You know, unless it's a right-hander or something. I think you might be able to brake on the outside, but they don't. They just don't back out. They just do not back out, and it's just absolutely. I was backing out more than them, which is saying something. You know, the player is usually more aggressive than the AI, but I'm a lot less aggressive than them, and you will see it later on in this race. Me having to back out of certain overtakes just because it wouldn't have worked. And it was so frustrating. Like I said, I spent several hours of restarts, and I just couldn't get on with it. I couldn't get along with the AI at all. And you know, you saw a bit of contact there in the braking zone at the end of the straight on the last lap. It was that sort of silly stuff that, you know, just that pointless contact, and that sort of stuff can obviously mess you up and make you run wide, or you know, or push you deep, or even spin you sometimes. And it's just that sort of silly stuff, and it's just so frustrating. And yeah, so anyway, I decided to start P10 just to avoid a bit of carnage, and actually I managed to make a massive 5-second gap. So I've gone deep there though, but get away with that, I think. Decent exit. Yeah, a bit of wheel spin, but nice exit. So I've managed to get a, well, now 4-second gap to the car behind. So a nice big gap there, up to P6 of 56. And well, I can tell you that I wasn't planning to do a pit stop in this race, but I will do one, and you'll see why later in the race. Look, I've got 36 litres of fuel, which I did quite a lot of practice. I calculated the fuel, that's the exact amount of fuel I need within, say, about 2 litres. I believe, off the top of my head, it was something like 4 litres a lap. Must be a bit more than that, I think it's about 4.5 litres a lap, something like that. So I worked all that out, and I did a bit of testing on the various compounds. I figured out that soft tyres were actually okay. You know, in this 7-lap race, it's not actually that long, really, because the tyre wear or anything is not scaled. So in a 7-lap race, the slick softs were fine. That's what I've got. You can see the bottom right there. The temperature's all fine. They do go down a little bit when we get to night time. Of course, this is going to be a night effect race, hence 24 minutes in Le Mans. And I see on the steering wheel there, the 3 boxes in the bottom left of the wheel, that's tyre temperatures. I presume it's in Celsius. So they're about right. That's what you need, about 70, 80-ish. That's about right. And, that's a much better corner through there. Nice on the power. And just 1.5 to the car ahead now. So with this lap, it's interesting. Most of the first part of the lap, I can generally just about equal them. In the chicanes and the long straight, I'm quite poor, but over the whole first, say, 3/4 of the lap, I can just about equal them. This last sector, I can really game on them. So watch for 1.7 coming into it, which is a little bit more than we started the lap with. Already 1.6, 1.5, 1.4 now. See, that's 0.3 just in a couple of corners, and it's the high downforce stuff that I really gain. If I can nail this corner a little bit on the inside there, 1.1 now though, 1.2, 1.1. 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, and we're all over. We're going to have a look up inside to this chicane, but generally I can't break the latest. Then look, see, people are already pitting there. It's starting to get dark now. People are already pitting. So I didn't expect anyone to pit actually, because it's such a short race, but for some reason they're all programmed to pit, and so I didn't actually expect it. But anyway, that's allowed me back up to P5. Just one guy pit so far. And there we are. So I gained, well, you know, I had to slow down for him, so I gained probably about 2 seconds. The final sector alone, so that's really where I gain all my time in the high downforce stuff. You see now the sun's just starting to set, the shadows are getting a bit longer, the light's got a bit sort of orangey, the light's quite low, but it is behind us at the moment, so it's not too bad. And you see big shadows. Look at the inside of this guy here, but again, look, back out of it. I know that I probably wouldn't be able to outbrake him. They are generally, interestingly, they're quite a lot better than me on the brakes, which is, it's tricky because they will just dive up your inside, you know, effectively dive bomb you. A little bit wide there. They do effectively dive bomb you. Because they are so much better on the brakes, so they obviously brake at their normal point, and then they brake miles later than you. So here we are, nice lot of slipstream here. A little bit to make this move stick. So that's up to P4, but if we can make it stick, you see it's starting to get a little bit tricky for vision now. He's still along the inside, so I can't pull over. And I'm just trying to edge over back into slipstream, but I can't quite do it. He's still just about alongside me, so I can't take my normal racing line. So I have to be cautious in springs. And there we are, see, look, round the outside, he's absolutely flown round my outside. And, you know, I was a car length ahead of him there, or, you know, he was probably just behind my rear wheel, and he just flew around the outside, and now I'm 6/10 back. It's I don't know why, but my braking's poor. And I can tell you I had 100% brake pressure on as well, so this is the best the brakes get. But it is different cars, of course, so I don't know whether their cars were just better on the brakes or something. Their cars tend to be better on the exit corners, but then you see that I'm just absolutely flying in the slipstream, particularly. I gain absolutely loads on them. And they see now it's actually starting to get really quite dark. And I believe we turn the lights on, judging on the cockpit. I didn't actually notice it in video, you might have done, but the lights are now on. You can see everything's lit up in the cockpit. All the buttons on the left hand side there. And when I first attempted this race, I managed to get to lap 2 or 3, which is quite an achievement, starting from the middle of the pack with the AI my first couple of tries. And I forgot to map a light button. So I was driving, you'll see how dark it gets, I was driving with no lights. Oh, see again, a bit aggressive with each other there. That's limited to catch right up to him, but he got in my way a little bit. Compromised my corner, but yes, I was driving in absolutely pitch black, and I do mean pitch black it gets. And I was on my own as well, I had no one in front of me at that point, so it was horrendous. It was really, really bad. But anyway, we're going to have a little look up his inside here, into this next corner, just about alongside. He's got to give me a bit of room, which he has done. Quite fair for leaving room, usually, in ones like that, but it's just the braking. There, see, look there, he just flew and just took straight away his apex, so good job I didn't try that corner, that would have been a massive accident. So I just had to back out of it there. So that was another example. I learned that you've just got to back out of it with the AI, because they won't do that for you. They just won't. Anyway, back to tyre temperatures. You see on the bottom right there, front right is a little bit blue now, 72 degrees, so low 70s isn't quite ideal. So that should warm up now though as we go through these S's in a minute. Nice high-speed corners. Usually warms them up nicely. And you see it's getting pretty dark now. The sky's still bright, but the track's pretty dark. I'm starting to struggle to see a little bit. So I've gone a little bit deep there, and it's particularly tricky. Obviously, this being 24 minutes of Le Mans, 1 hour is 1 minute. So it does advance quite quickly, so it's not actually dark for that long, but I can only imagine what a longer distance race would be like. Well, great fun for a start. As I've got my, that corner is where I really gain on them. For some reason, they really pour through there. So up to P4 then. It's looking pretty good. There's a couple more cars boxed and the car behind, so it's just me and this other car in front. So we're going to be P1 and 2. So hopefully I can get him and then put a nice gap. So it's tricky to come through there when you're following a car. Because they're sports cars, of course. They're quite big. And you can barely see the track as you come through there. It's over 3 minutes 30. Pretty good. I'll go to the 28s though for sure. That's what I was doing in quali fuel. Sort of high 28s-ish or mid to high 28s. And so hopefully we can stick with this guy then and get some slipstream on him. It's a little bit wide there. It's not too bad. Tyres have gone back up now. High 80s again after the high speed section. And now this is really starting to get dark. See, right now I wouldn't say I'm straining, but this part's not too bad because the track's lit. So again, I think better dive inside there. But when the track goes not lit, like I believe it does down this straight, yes it does. So it's not fully dark yet though. The sky's still got a bit of light to it. There's a few lights around. It's not too bad. But it really goes so dark. We'll see that in a minute. But lots of slipstream then. Have a look at the inside. But this guy's pretty quick in a straight line. So you can just see him there. Alongside me. We're pretty much wheel to wheel now. I'm ever so slightly ahead by the looks of it. And again, I can look in the mirror. I can't see anything at all. So break up at normal point. I hope he's not there. Yes, he is. A little bit of contact there, though. So again, you know, I would have been able to leave him room there. In the end, I couldn't. That's because he made contact with me and made my car straighten up. Unstable, you know, made my car unstable and straightened me up. And you know, that was fair. I braked quite late, but I braked at my point. I would have been able to make the corner, but he still made contact. It's just silly, the AI. They really are silly. It makes a lot of the enjoyment out of this game. And weirdly not that fast either, really. This is 100% as well, by the way. All assists off, 100% AI. I'm bad at mentioning those sort of things at the beginning of the video. I always absolutely dominate me to that breaking point. There, we got there. And yeah, so it's 100% AI. So this is the hardest AI they get. This is LMP1 cars only. So I did originally start again with a full multi-class grid, but that was silly. There was some seriously slow cars and it was painful. But yeah, so this is 100% AI, all LMP1 cars, and you know I am the fastest on the grid, which you know you didn't really expect, but here we are. Default setup near enough. A couple of minor tweaks like just reducing the downforce, upping the brake pressure a bit. I believe I've tweaked the tyre pressures down a little bit, I believe, just to help with the temperatures. Like 2 bits tonight here. You see, look how dark this is. Look, and I do believe at some point, whether it's now, I turn the lights off just to show you. There we are. Look at that. That's how I was racing. That is how I was racing in the previous attempt at this. And do the wipers as well. It's so dark. And these Audi lights are really good. They got the, I don't know which model this is, but I know this year's real life Audi R18 has got the laser lights. You know, they're really powerful and really good. But, you know, without the lights on sections like that with no other lights around, it's so dark. So I've gone deep there, but we get away with that. Oh, it will spin on the exit. And it is absolutely so dark. It just shows you how different it is now with these lights. You can see the sky's already starting to brighten up a little bit. So of course it generally would only stay in the middle of summer, stay dark for about what, 8 hours maybe. So that's only actually about 8 minutes, isn't it? So about maybe 2 laps. And of course it wouldn't be pitch. And again there, that was the darkness that threw me off there. It's tricky to spot your point. You see, I can't actually see that next apex. Now I can see it. It's tricky, really tricky to spot your points. And of course the tyres are cooling down a little bit as well. They're sort of, well, not too bad now, a bit more temperature now, but they weren't great at the start there. There's lots of slipstream now. We're going to look at the inside of him here. And usually I can't outbrake them. I'm going to give it a go. It looks like he's gone into the pits. And I can tell you I knew that because I heard him. You know, he wasn't braking, so he'd clearly gone into the pits. So I'm in the lead now. And at this point I was thinking, well, I wasn't going to pit. So I've got 22 litres of fuel, enough fuel. My tyres will last till the end. I'm going to have a massive gap. I think it's about 15 seconds by the time we get there to the car behind. And I wasn't going to pit. I was thinking, well, this will be an easy dominant win because I will now be faster than them. You know, with the traffic out of the way. Or should be anyway. This will be an easy dominant win. So at this point, I'm just racing. But I'm sort of got it in the back of my mind that, you know, this is a bit easy. You know, I don't like this. Yes, it's good to see a bit of AI. Yes, it's good to see the night transition, which is what I wanted to show. I also wanted to show these LMP1 cars. But you know, I wanted a better race than this. I thought I was going to get a race from start to finish, and I would have done if they didn't pit. But anyway, don't turn off now, because I can tell you I do box. Again, turn the lights off there just to see how much difference it makes. I do box at the end of this lap, and you'll see why at the end of the lap. So don't switch off just yet. And I can tell you, stick with it. This race has got an almighty ending to it. Absolutely wicked end. So we're over halfway with this race now, lap 5 of 7. So just 2 laps left to go after this one. So that was a better corner there. We'll spin the exit there. But get away with that. Hopefully the gear's revving it quite hard now, because I'm trying to push. See if I can build the gap. So 15 seconds as it stands to the car behind, so I was right with that. 15.2 now, so it's going up and up and up. And that'll be on the long back straight where I've got less downforce on them. And you see now it's starting to get lighter, but it's still not light enough to switch my lights off. It's still just too dim to be able to see clearly. So it's quite tricky. I brake too early for that one. I've still not managed to nail my braking point for that corner, because there isn't a braking point. I haven't found a marker that I can brake out, that's why. And see, the sky's getting brighter and brighter. The sun's coming up. I believe it's coming up from in front of us, judging by that colour. And well, one thing I will say, this game is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It really is. It's absolutely stunning. And this is only on about medium to low settings now. Once I started running this, you know, I was getting sort of 20, 25, 30 FPS in the beginning of the race there, so I've got a little bit wide there on the gravel. 25, 30 FPS or so with 56 cars, and yeah, that wasn't acceptable. So I decided to turn the graphics down just a little bit, just to make it a bit better. Things like vehicle details are down a little bit, shadow details are down a little bit. So this game can be a whole lot prettier with a better PC. Yeah, I mean, it was worth it for the FPS. Even now, I believe I was only running about 40, 50 FPS or so not really 60. But in traffic, it goes down to more like 30. So, but I didn't want to go any lower than this on the graphic settings. A little bit deep there, but got it slowed down nicely. That corner is actually the most tricky corner on the track. There's a bump. Just you want to hit the brakes, there's a bump. So if you transition between off throttle and braking as you're hitting a bump, it generally will spin the car, because it's just a lot of weight transfer going on there. And if your car's, you know, just about to fly over a bump and it goes unstable, goes light, then it's going to spin you. And I've spun probably about 4 or 5 times in that corner with the previous attempts. So I'm a little bit cautious through there, but this is now 15.8 seconds. We've actually managed to gain on the car behind by nearly a second so far. It's going to go a little bit deep through there. And look, there we are. Look at that. Look how bright that is. That's absolutely blinding. And here we are. This is the point where I decided, oh, it's telling me to pit, is it? I didn't really figure out my pit strategy. You can tweak that, but I didn't even look at that. And this is the point here where I decided, well, let's pit. I just had a massive crash into the wall. The damage actually is on, but the damage isn't that severe. You do well to damage the car. So I thought, all right, I'll box then. Got a little bit deep there into the gravel. And so it's telling me to pit, and I had a massive crash. I thought, you know what, let's pit. And I've cut it out now. I did then, right now, I went into that strategy there. And I spent about a minute in there, because it was trying to give me 2.5 bar of pressure with brand new soft tyres and 30 litres of fuel. I left the fuel as was, and of course fixed the damage. I left the fuel as was, purely because I didn't know what to do with it. I just left it because I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't want to run out of fuel. And 28 litres of fuel looks like. And I changed the tyres, but I completely guessed the tyre pressures. I couldn't remember what I set them up as in the beginning of the race. So I completely guessed, and I've gone for about 1.8 bar or so front and rear. And I went for that because I knew my tyres were a little bit cold. And actually, with hindsight, it's a little bit too soft, but you'll see that later on. But look at that, I've gone massively deep. I don't know if my brakes are cold, but that was a horrendous corner. My brakes just didn't seem to work at all there for some reason. I assume that's my brakes being cold, but usually a cold brake, when you apply full brake pressure, it will lock. These performance discs, they tend to lock rather than just be ineffective. It's a sort of snatch, but anyway, hopefully that's gone. So it's a bit of a weird one there, but I'm now down to P7. I can tell you I was up in P5 before anyone boxed, so I've actually managed to lose positions somehow. So whether that was with traffic or what, or maybe these guys haven't pit, I'm not too sure. But nevertheless, anyway, that's us up to P6, and now I've only got 2 laps left to go. So now I'm thinking, right, you're a little way off first, but you can see first. They're within reach, perhaps, if you can push hard. As again, they've gone massively, massively deep there. Once again, the brakes just felt like they didn't work. Luckily, no penalty, just another warning there. You see me now checking the temperatures. Brake temperatures, 500 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit rear, 800 Fahrenheit front. So they're not that cold, but maybe they're warmed up now. But they're not. I mean, they're not hot either, though. You know, they are a little bit on the cold side. So let's not brake any more cautiously coming into this corner. Look for the dip in the barrel on the right side there. After that, you brake. and that was, the brakes weren't fine into there. So perhaps it was just a bit of brake temperature issues. I'm not too sure, but it completely caught me off guard twice there. And again, you just hit the brake pedal and you just don't get the retard you expect. You don't get, you don't get the deceleration you expect. It's quite strange. So in the end there, I had to straighten the car and just go straight across the chicane. You didn't have a choice. Didn't gain any time in that one at least. So like I said, now I'm thinking, right, you've got to push. Give it your absolute all. Make this a video. This is the furthest I've ever been with recording a video with all my restarts. A little bit deep there into the gravel once again. The car behind's all over me, but I'll max out of that. And yeah, so I'm thinking, like, push, just push. That's why I've gone deep there. I'm just pushing it so hard now, and I'm thinking, right, you'll be hell for leather. If I just finished in P6 after how you started P10 with a nice big gap in front, you've at least got to get, well, I'm looking at, I think there's 2 cars just ahead, so at least P4. That's what I'm aiming for right now. I'm just going to push like absolutely crazy. And let's see where we get to then. So you had that little bit of brake before the for that fast right-hander, again, just to try and avoid spinning just after it. And I've nailed those 2 corners pretty well. Get it all slowed down on the curve nicely. That was a nice corner, a little bit wide, but we'll get away with that. 0.6 in the car head, but always get a poor exit out of there. 0.7 now, 1.8. So not great. And at the moment, I'm just trying to close in on them so I can get some slipstream. And I know, obviously, it's this corner in this section that I really gain it. There's one corner that I really gain loads on them. So that's what I'm aiming for right now. Just trying to get close enough so I can overtake in the corner. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get these in that corner. Too far back. 1.5 already, though. 1.4. This is a pretty sweet section so far, though. Pretty sweet. Need to hold it quite tight there to try and stay flat through there. Was not flat through there. Got a little bit wide, though, all over the curb. And all over them now, all over them, but I wouldn't imagine going to get them improved. Am I going to have a little look up the inside there, all over the curb, and look up and see, little look up the inside of the next one as well. And can I make that stick? Gone deep, he's going to push him off the track there. He's going to try and go on the outside, but I won't have any of that. And well, I managed to make that stick then, which was surprising. I must admit, I was quite scared going into there, because usually they outbrake me, so I decided to brake very late, and just hope that I made it stick. And luckily, he did try it. He was half a car length alongside me, but I just didn't give any room there. So, gave the AI some of their own aggression there. Seemed to work quite nicely. Get also down to second. This is the final lap of the race then. I'm up to P4 already. 2.6 back from the cars in front for a podium. Will I be able to get that down? Well, we're about to find out. I'm going to push it. Already 2.1, so a decent gain through there. And I can tell you, this lap, I'm not even being cautious anymore. I'm thinking, even though it's the end of this video, I'm just going to push. If I spin, so be it. I'm just going to push like absolutely crazy and hope that I can catch the guy's head. Already 1.3 then, so we've gained over a second in that first sector alone. Are we in the slipstream of the car ahead? I don't think we are quite. I didn't quite manage to get it. 1.1, we're gaining on him, but I don't think we're quite in the slipstream, are we? I don't know. I might be getting a little bit of it, but not a lot. Just a solid second back. 9 tenths now, 8 tenths now. We're definitely in it. We're gaining lots. 8 tenths, 7 tenths, 6 tenths just about. On the brakes hard. Try and get also down. Managed to nail it quite well. Hope for a good exit. Just tap the bollard there that someone's taken out, and I didn't lose any time through there, so that was an awesome chicane for me. Usually I lose a lot of time through there. But I was a little bit on the exit, but not too bad. Only 9 tenths then. So lost a tenth or two through there. And now in the slipstream once again. 8 tenths. 7 tenths now. Come on, let's do it. Gaining a little bit in the slipstream. We need to nail this next chicane to get some more slipstream on the next corner. 6 tenths now. Now under 6 tenths. We're on 5 tenths and just half a second back from this guy ahead. Get it also down, brake quite late there. Nail this curb. Get on throttle nice and early. Straddle the next curb because I went a little bit deep there. And now 7 tenths. I've managed to absolutely nail that chicane as well then. So I'm absolutely coming alive with my pace at the end of this race. 8 tenths now it is, but we'll get some slipstream down here at something. So we should start gaining. Here we are, 7 tenths now. It's coming down. Now it's under 7 tenths. And now it's 6 tenths then. Under 6 tenths. Just half a second back. So we slam on the brakes into here then. These get all slowed down nicely, which I managed to do. Missed my apex, but we'll get away with that. Hopefully get a decent exit, which I've managed to do all over the curb there. Still only 7 tenths. So these corners I normally lose to them. I'm not losing anything, and I'm keeping in the slipstream, which is vitally important down that very long Mulsanne back straight there. And a nice little slipstream down here. 7 tenths now, 6 tenths. This could be as close as I've been to him. 5 tenths. Just half a second back now. Then we're under 5 tenths. This is definitely the closest I've been. 4 tenths now. So this is very close, but there's no chance for an overtake through here. Oh, again there, you see the rear end just going like that to correct the oversteer. Nice and close now though, and that's what I was scared of happening. But that time I just pushed it. I had to push it. I didn't have a choice. And I need to stick close to this guy. I need to get a good corner here, which I managed to do. Actually, could have taken a bit more speed through there. And we're 3 tenths back now. We'll get a nice lot of slipstream. But I got a feeling the next two might be able to reach. But we'll in order to make that even remote possibility, we need to absolutely nail this guy. We have to nail him. We're gaining nice and lots on the slipstream now. Just 2/10 back. Less than 2/10 now. Less than a tenth now. And look, inside there all over the grass. But we've got to make the slip. We have to make the slip on the outside. Braking quite late. Going to go deep. But it looks like we've got the move done. Yes, we have. So we've got the move done up to P3 then. Just half a second back from first and second. Can we make this an epic finish and win the race? Going to go down to fourth now. Try and keep it nice and tight for the good exit at this next corner, which I'm really good at. A little bit dirty, yeah, they pushed me a little bit deep. But it looks like we're going to get a good exit, so we're up to P2 now. Have a look at P1, which side we'll go. We'll go to the outside, then trying to fire us outside. Got a good pace on him. Up to 6th gear, we're actually comfortably in first. Going to go to the inside of the track to try and defend. We need to get some good braking. He brakes much later than me there, but I've got the inside line. And just one more corner to go, and one more chicane to go for me to take the win in this 24 minutes of Le Mans. Good exit there, and look at that. Managed to take the win, and look at that. Lots and lots of swerving as I cross the line. What a finish, and I've spat all over my microphone, but what a finish that was. And I can tell you, I was absolutely buzzing at the end of that race. Oh, it felt so good. And I tell you what, that last lap I pushed, I can't remember, I think it was something like a 2:28 with overtaking, and I pushed that last lap so hard, and what a race that was. And I really enjoyed that, despite the AI, but I did really enjoy that, and I thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Bye bye.